Public safety and security are important for the well-being of any citizen and to promote and safeguard investments in any country. As Ghana prepares to usher in a new wave of development, it becomes even more important for citizens and investors to feel safe, protected and safeguarded from crime and criminal activities. The PPPC government, during its first year back in office, has spared no effort nor resources in ensuring that the security sector is reformed and positioned to deliver on its mandate. To make this happen, over $61 billion have been allocated to this sector, with special focus on rebranding, reorganizing and re-equipping the Ghana Police Force. With a history of public mistrust and alleged corruption, President Ali, who's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, believes that a comprehensive rebranding strategy must be implemented to improve the force's image locally and internationally. More than that, it must also enhance its operations and the fulfillment of its mandate.
It must not be a top-down, top-heavy approach. It has to be an integrated approach, where every level is strengthened to operate at its optimal level. That begs the discussion on our organizational structure itself. What was the structure designed to achieve, as against what is needed in today's society and the future for our country? Is it optimal? Are there recommendations that we may come up with?
As such, the necessary investments were and continue to be made in training and capacity building. The force has trained 974 ranks in 47 courses in the first 6 months of 2021. And from September, officers will also be trained in a slew of programs in the United Kingdom and India. Some of the programs include cyber forensic investigation, ballistics and firearms study, DNA fingerprinting, forensic anthropology, forensic drugs analysis, forensic odontology, forensic graphology, and cyber forensic investigation. Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus says focus is also being placed on training police ranks to function in and around the courtroom. This will ensure cases are better managed and tried.
We're looking to roll out our prosecutors program, which is the 1 year, the substantive prosecutor program, because we recognize that there's a deficiency in terms of prosecutors. So you know that with staff turnover and retirement and all of that, we become depleted, and in the absence of training in the past, we're now faced with replenishing that stock of prosecutors.
With training and improved capacity comes the need for adequate facilities and infrastructure. Government has undertaken an aggressive campaign to build new and rehabilitate aged police stations countrywide. A number of the new stations are now equipped with designed areas to deal with domestic violence cases, processing facilities for adults and juveniles, staff offices, and the community room for public use in keeping with international best practices. The force has also embraced the use of technology in crime fighting. It has started using body cameras across the country, which has proven to be beneficial in the courtrooms. These cameras complement the Smart City project, which boasts over 300 CCTV cameras in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Superintendent Mahindra Singh says the use of cameras aids the force in its crime solving.
It primarily assists investigators generally in conducting their investigations in a much more holistic way. This is a tool utilized primarily for the prevention of crime, so we aid the detection effort generally, and investigators are generally more capable now with this in place and operable. We're working here 24 hours a day. We have persons who have been identified to take calls via the 911 and to make dispatches to all regions wherever the crime or the offense would have been committed or the report emanates from.
The government has committed to expanding the program. To further enhance its technological capabilities, the government also commissioned a computer training center at the Covent John Police Station on the east coast of Demerara.
More prosperous country becomes a target for more sophisticated criminals. So our approach to crime fighting has to be one beyond the boundaries of Ghana. We've already seen where our collaboration has led to some of the largest drug busts regionally over the last few months.
The Ghana Defence Force has also seen significant investments since the PPP took office in 2020. For starters, its air fleet has been boosted with the acquisition of an over $400 million Bell helicopter. It was the realization of a promise made by President Ali, who noted that it comes at a time when Ghana needs to improve its national security efforts.
Indeed, we have a lot more economic assets to protect. We will have a large economy. We'll have more sophisticated type of criminal activities to deal with. And all of this requires a modern, forward-looking security architecture. And that is what we're building.
Additionally, over $600 million has been spent as a down payment to acquire an offshore patrol vessel to operate in the country's exclusive economic zone. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, 𝐎𝐍𝐄 told the National Assembly in June that it was an urgent matter given Ghana's territorial issues, particularly in the 𝐎𝐍𝐄.
We have a border issue. We have our waters where there were incursions. We have one old vehicle, one old vessel, and therefore the decision was taken that one could acquire a new one. And this would probably, if my memory is correct, it's the first time Guyana as a nation since independence is buying a brand new patrol vessel. First time. First time. We've always dealt with gifts and second-hand. But this is the first time we're buying a brand new vehicle. And it's not just about border, it's about piracy, it's about fishing, illegal fishing and so on. And certainly this House must have concerns about our capacity to take care of protecting our territorial and maritime waters.
Added to that, plans are in train for the establishment of a regional joint support team, which will enhance the crime-fighting efforts of the Ghana Police Force.
Is a new initiative that was decided on by the Defense Board, and that earlier around April this year, and it will be an initiative involving the GDF and the police force to develop operational capacity in crime fighting. And so this is a brand new initiative to be implemented, and the budgetary allocation under 622 is to be able to provide resources that they would need in order to function, to be established and to function.
Minister 𝐎𝐶 says the support team also builds the capacity of the joint services to effectively tackle every form of illegal activity.
This is about enhancing the capacity of the law enforcement agencies with the support of the GDF in being able to fight crime. Whether it is narcotics, whether it's other forms of crime, it is there to work and support each other. And therefore, this is not to become a hysterical thing. These are two properly functioning bodies that will work in collaboration with each other in a newer and different structure.
Guyana, for the first time since 1999, also played host to Exercise Trade Winds, sponsored by the United States Southern Command, US Southcom, which saw the participation of 13 countries. The annual exercise is geared at enhancing the collective ability of defense forces and law enforcement to counter transnational crimes, respond to natural disasters, and provide search and rescue operations.
Exercise Trade Winds has become a key annual activity that showcases and demonstrates our collective commitment to regional security and security cooperation among partner nations. As we seek to promote the Caribbean as a region of stability and prosperity, it is important that as a collective, we make progress on a range of security issues, from border disputes, counter narcotics, and the combat against organized crime, disaster relief management, against threats posed by climate change and global warming to our region.
Additionally, to combat transnational crime, Guyana's Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit and the Federal Police of the Federative Republic of Brazil has signed an international technical cooperation agreement aimed at intensifying collaboration in the fight against illicit activities and organized crime through the exchange of information and organized crime. Overcrowding in the prison system has been an age-old problem. The PPPC government has taken immediate steps to fix this situation and has signed a $1.2 billion contract for the reconstruction of 3 lots at the Lusitnan prison, which was destroyed by fire. This will house 600 inmates. Construction is also ongoing at the Mazruni and New Amsterdam prisons. Guyana has also managed to maintain its Tier 1 status, ranking for a 5th consecutive year, as stated in the latest United States State Department Trafficking in Persons report. Increased investigations, identifying and assisting more victims, creating the first anti-trafficking hotline in Spanish, and opening an additional shelter were some of the robust actions credited for the feat. Between January and May, 14 reports of tip have been received. 49 victims have been screened, with 13 suspects apprehended. 11 persons are before the courts facing multiple charges for human trafficking, and 1 has already been convicted. On the Guyana Fire Service front, the towns of Mabaruma, Madia and Letem now boast their own firefighters to man the newly built fire stations in regions 1, 8 and 9. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben says it is a fulfillment of government's commitment to building the capacity of the fire service through investment in assets and personnel and providing critical services to Guyanese no matter their location.
I have said before to some people that the houses of people in the interior also burn, and there's loss of life and assets, grievous loss with respect to fire. And so this response by the government is designed to reduce, to mitigate, to prevent those losses. And so the question has to be, too, that we should not take a narrow view of where particularly we are, but since this is a new beginning, you may be the only asset, the only response that we have initially in respect of these incidents in these remote communities.
Further, plans to relocate the central fire station are moving apace, with a potential location already identified and preliminary design for the fire station completed. Efforts were also underway to revamp the community policing group. Administrator of the CPGs, Rishi Das, says there has been an increase in both membership and groups.
If we look at the figures, it will be every month membership on board is 316, and membership and form of groups each month between January to date is 19.85 amount of 20 groups per month. So we are reaching the achievement administrative given us over 5,500 persons. So we are working towards the goal, and so far we are doing well.
Within 1 year of being in office, the PPPC government is well on its way to achieving its manifesto promises in the security sector. Members of the security forces can look forward to greater investments and capacity building initiatives as the Irfan Ali-led government works to ensure that Guyanese are guaranteed a safe and secure country.